And yes, today is yet another event. Absolutely. We are doing a session today is called How to Bring Out Creativity from Fabric to Fashion. And I will be introducing both of our panelists in just a moment. But before that, I would like to thank our sponsors, DTEX and VN International, for helping us, for supporting us on this very event of SOTEX Connect and the value which we are creating. And of course, there is a lot of other associations which are a part of us, which support us. Garment Export Association of Rajasthan, Indian Importers Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Tirupur Exporters Association, Noida Apparel Export Cluster, and many more such associations. And now, after this, I would like to talk about the important point for today. And that is the first one. We will start with SOTEX Design Lab presentation, which will be undertaken by Shreya. Shreya is our project lead for Design Lab. And I would now like to hand it over to Shreya to take over, give a quick presentation, and we then move on to our panelists. Over to you, Shreya.
Thank you so much, Gagan. Hello, everyone. So before I take it further, talking about the SOTEX Design Lab, I would like to brief a little bit about myself. So I am Shreya, and I basically come from the background of designing. I have worked with the buying house as a buyer with multiple European and US customers. I have worked with all the kind of designers that you might be coming across, with all the kind of rejections people face in the industry and the kind of sampling and the work we need to do. And while working along with the textile of the industry, I also worked with the UI UX part. So my journey of career has started from a traditional textile industry and move it into the textile proper technical industry altogether. So while working with this whole process of my career journey, I was hoping that even though we have a lot of entrepreneurial, desire to work on this textile industry, but we are not able to get through it because there's a lot of manpower involved to create a one single sample. So when I got this opportunity to work with this SOTEX Design Lab, I could understand that this is one platform that I need to get started with because this solves the major problem of this industry, taking it to a next level. So I'll share talking about SOTEX Design Lab, but before that, I want to share a little bit about what is 3D designing. So a lot of us are already aware about this term 3D designing. This is nothing new. And a lot of other industries are using it efficiently in their own segments like automobiles, like interior designing and all the other segment as well. But when it comes to textile this industry, we think that it is just a matter of one sample, why we need to get to 3D designing part of it, and just ignoring this fact, how big impact this can create one sample. And now, right now, we are more than $223 billion industry together. So I will share right now how this design solution can overall change the perspective and save your time together to it. So this is our SOTEX Design Lab website page. So talking about this design solution, SOTEX Design Lab is basically an integration of two platforms, SOTEX Resources and TUCATech Technology. So with this design solution, we have combined two major solutions together to fast track your design development and sampling process. So now with this design solution, you can just pick up the fabric and trims from the SOTEX Design Lab and use the TUCA 3DE tools to create your visual collection of the garments. So I will take you through further with a short video, which will brief about how the entire process works. And later I will take it further discussion about it.
Resources. Fast track your design and development process with SOTEX Design Resources and TUCATech Technology. This is the world's first digital platform where everyone in the supply chain collaborates with real data. Design, develop, approve, show, sell, and then make your product. Instead of starting from a sketch, pattern, or physical sample, start from digital fashion design templates. Choose from Tukatech's library of ready-made 3D garments or find the model you want to design for, then shop styles made to fit that model. Bring the blank garment into the Tuka 3D Designer Edition visualizer software. Browse dozens of fabrics and trims categories in the Sotex materials catalog. These high-quality images represent physical materials, so you can achieve the exact same look in real-life production. Create colorways with these digital materials and visualize the results instantly. Integrate with your favorite graphic design software and view multiple colorways at the same time. Create 3D line sheets to share styles and feedback before physical sampling, or even use 3D renders as visuals for your e-commerce site. When you're ready to go to production, purchase the 2D CAD pattern for the style for only $5. Do any pre-production work in the intuitive Tuka CAD software for pattern making, grading, and marker making. Order physical fabrics and trims on the Sotex site and get ready to make your visualization a reality. Instead of spending several weeks and thousands of dollars on the cost of development, design new products with material variations in only a couple of hours. Reverse the development process. Think differently.
So yeah, so here we saw how the two different platforms are combined together to deliver you the end result upon it. So in this design solution, we are providing Sotex Design Lab, Tuka 3DE, 5 assets from Tuka Web and learning course all together. This design solution is basically, designed in such a way that it will help fashion designers, apparel manufacturers, fashion brands, trims, fabric manufacturer, mills, stockist, merchant, and other kind of manufacturers as well. Coming to the point, how this design solution can help you, you can bring your design to life. Basically, the whole design process that you go through while designing and developing one single sample, which takes approximately of 3 weeks of your time. With the use of this software, you can create 3D visualizations of the same garment under 60 minutes of the time. You get the access of the Sotex design library, which is updated on everyday basis with our global suppliers. You save time because obviously you are not going through the whole process manually to create a physical sample. You are using the software to create this design approval. It saves a lot of time in your R&D cost because most of the data and everything is available digitally. The creation that you do, it is done on the software, so it helps you reduce a lot of wastages during your development and sampling process. It increases the chances of your higher closure rate because with the given amount of time, you can create n number of collections, which will increase the number of chances of you getting a higher closure rate. So with this features of the software, this is a very easy to use and easy to learn software. Even if you have not worked on a 3D software before, you can get started with this software to boost your business right away. This is a very compatible software with the Illustrator, Photoshop, Corel Draw, and different other softwares. So you can create your collection over any other software once you are done with the 3D visualizer. This has the ability to give you the choices of Pantone color, so you can explore as many numbers of choices you want to as per the choice of your buyers. This gives the accuracy in design, fit, and growth. So basically, in this whole collection of assets, 700 plus that we provide in this range, this has ethnic wear, active wear, swimwear, women's, men's, kids wear categories, uniforms, and all the other sort of categories that you can think of. This helps you create a virtual mood boards as given period of the time, as we are not able to travel much and showcase our presentation to buyers manually. This is one of the platform where you can create almost realistic kind of presentation, virtual presentation to your buyer and get a closure faster. Here are some ways we have shared that how from 3 weeks of your journey can convert it into just 3 hours. So basically the process of where you do the repeat working and reworking on the same sample, everything can be done and manipulated under the 3D asset. Coming to the prices of this package. So collectively, this whole package costs around $772. But with this design lab, you get this amazing combination of design solution in just $499 only. You can come to our website and get started here right away by purchasing it. And we have many of the customer reviews and testimonies given about our Tuka Tech. I would like to play some for you for your understanding.
Flat sketches tell a flat story. Bring your ideas to life with simple design tools in the connected world of Tuka Tech. In the new design room, designers never have to touch a pattern or drape a 3D garment. Instead, they use Tuka Cloud to browse their library of approved 3D assets, examining the drape and fit until they find the perfect silhouette for their new concept. In Tuka 3D Designer Edition, designers apply their own prints to the selected 3D sample, experimenting with Oliver prints and motifs. These prints are shown at real scale on a lifelike 3D sample, so designers have a better picture of how their ideas will really look when executed. Snapshots from Tuka 3D Designer Edition give a new dimension to line sheets and presentations, bringing ideas to life with the power and ease of 3D design. Powered by Tuka 3D and Tuka 3D Designer Edition.
So yeah, we just saw how this is helping a major of the leaders of this industry with this software. You can check out more. And coming to the part where what all access you get with the design lab, you get access and opportunity to connect with 2,500 plus buyers, 10,000 plus fabric trim suppliers, and the access of 30,000 plus design that is available in our design library. So talking about Tuka Tech, as Mr. Gagan already mentioned, how they are the fashion technology leaders across the globe, and you are going to get the access of integration of such technology in this design solution. So further, if you still have any question, you can drop us a query, you can directly do the purchase. And once you make a purchase, you can also contact us for very further discussion about it. I would also like to share a few of the videos as to share how our other existing suppliers and manufacturers and mills are making benefit out of this design solution with it. So
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shreya.
Just one more video if
All
it
right.
is open. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, please. Yes.
Okay. So this is how fabric mills are benefiting from using 3D technology of Sotex Design Lab. There are more designs that a designer can create using the different assets. And different garment manufacturers are also benefiting out of this.
Yeah.
Okay. So we would like to know further, like, fortunately, we have Mr. Jagdish also with us, who is one of the major pioneer of the digital solutions. We would really like to know further about this 3D technologies with you guys. Over to you, Mr. Gagan.
Thank you, Shreya. Thank you so much. You can unshare your screen. And yes, we thank you so much for a wonderful presentation on Design Labs. And we've already seen in just 2 months of this launch, how people are adopting it. We could see a couple of people who have taken the software and how they are making a difference to the way they are designing and presenting it to the customers. Thank you so much, Shreya, for the shares. And yes, the links what Shreya said are already there in the chat box. Feel free to click them, look at the whole concept on our website and on the landing page, and you will be able to gain a lot more knowledge. And now coming to the topic for today. And before I actually bring in the topic, it is very important for me to introduce our panelists. And let me take a moment to spotlight everyone so that we are here together. All right. First, I would like to introduce Jagdish Chawla. Jagdish is the founder and president of Design Wolf, and he believes that great ideas can transform the world. Jagdish is a guy who walks in with the unusual, a breakthrough strategy, a new concept, creative execution that impacts, if not changes the design space, he's working in with you. He's a highly strategic thinker, which makes him unique and has the ability to make teams participate and work together with breakthrough results. He connects the functions of communications across all digital technologies into seamlessly integrated marketing. Brand narrative is a communication approach he uses that gives way to new concepts. It mines the richness of a brand and generates new ways to express it. An industry expert, Jagdish, with over 27 years of endeavor in brand, product development, consumer engagement, marketing, and fashion merchandising, he has developed the skill, technology, and the ability to build teams that deliver an authentic brand experience. Key values that drive him are passion, strategic thinking, innovation, and velocity. Welcome, Jagdish.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Kapoor, for this generous introduction.
Wonderful. It's our pleasure to have you here. I've had the chance to briefly discuss with you on this concept, and I was totally awed by your knowledge and the thought which you're giving in this. And I know that I'm going to be learning a lot more today. Thank you. Now, it is indeed my pleasure to introduce Sonil. For a lot of you, Sonil is the known persistent name brand here at Sotex, but still, I would like to introduce Sonil. Sonil, it's always a pleasure. Sonil has been a dear friend for years, and now it has been a pleasure working along with him at Sotex, creating something unique. And Sonil is the founder and CEO of Sotex Network. He is empowering fashion and textile companies on digital transformation. With over 20 years of experience in fashion and textile industry, he has worked in diversified areas in sales, marketing, manufacturing, exports, fashion retail, e-commerce, and business technologies. He's an MBA from CQ University, Australia, and learning new innovation skills from MIT, US. He started his journey in textiles from wholesale and gradually moved into manufacturing, exports, retails, and online fashion business. His company, ozelfashion.com, was among the early online fashion startups in 2013, which he scaled to compete with fashion e-commerce players like Fashion and You and 99 Label before exiting the race to Amazon, Myntra, Jabong, LimeRoad in 2016. Recurring business challenges for small and medium businesses prompted him to work on modern-day solutions, conceptualize and integrate business automation tools for textile ecosystem. And hence, Sotex was born. And as we say, the rest is history. And there we go, creating everyday new solutions for the industry, for the community. Welcome, Sonil, to this unique session which we are doing.
Thank you so much, Gagan, for such a generous introduction.
Wonderful. And with this, I would now like to hand it over to both of you to talk about what the topic for today is, how to bring out creativity from fabric to fashion. Over to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gagan, once again. And it's been a delight to have Jagdish with me in the room of Sotex Connect. It's an absolute honor. Jagdish does not even come with such a vast set of experience of 26 years. But for people who don't know much of much background about him, he is an Flipkart. He's an ex-Reliance Trends, and he's been a CEO in one of the largest companies based in Sri Lanka. So just to top it all, he's been into that circuit. He's been there in the consumer side, on the manufacturing side. So it's absolute pleasure to know what is the shift happening in the industry. Jagdish, we know that there is a new paradigm shift happening in the world of fashion. In the last couple of months, especially in the last 18 months, what you've seen in the pandemic, there is a lot of shift which is coming out from a conventional side and going to the digital side. Now, if you were to understand this completely, how do you say is the business traveling from a survival to a growth stage?
It's a very interesting subject, Sonal, and if you actually look at the way business has been happening, and if you look at the history of how transitions have happened and how seismic shifts have happened in our society, it's a pure reflection of our old history. And I will like to just elucidate this particular phenomena by just referring back to the Renaissance age. Back then in the history where we were in the European era, where things were happening in that side of the globe, and you would have seen that the whole shift that happened during the time when there was this whole period of the European era moving into the Renaissance period. And like the pandemic we are having now, we had such kind of epidemic spread around during that period, that half of the population of the world actually disappeared.
Hmm.
And if you see the kind of changes that happened during that time, it is phenomenal to watch those kinds of transitions and then look back and see what is happening now, and the history repeats. And believe me, if you look at the whole Renaissance period itself, people like Leonardo da Vinci and others who would take art to their level of their excellence by creating paintings, and they would do paintings in the murals, and they would go to the chapels and paint the chapel with a story that depicts the physical environment of that chapel. And people had to go and visit that chapel to experience that painting. And then what happened, the big shift that happened during that period, where the Renaissance old work moved into the modernism era, where the invention of camera happened. Why I'm talking about camera is I want to relate to what is happening today with 3D. And the interesting thing that happened during that period, if you look at it, uh, people used to give their stories, tell their stories, elaborate them on the walls of the chapels or in the watercolor paints, and that was one center of visual element that was coming from the human eye. So human eye was the center point of visual seeing the image, and that's where the story would end. And what happened when the camera got invented? The whole printing technology came into picture, and camera gave you a mechanical eye to see the same dimension, which was a one-sided view. Now the camera could view in a zoom in, zoom out, it could move with you. And when the television came, the chapel painting got into your own house a million times. Every house could view that same chapel. So the interpretation and the story and the experience of watching that mural or the painting completely changed. We started having a very different view about art, because it was in a context which was now much more different from the context where you had to travel thousands of miles to go and see and experience that thing inside a building. Now tell me, what is happening today with the new digital world? When the pandemic has hit us, that shock has given us to accelerate that moment into what is the reality of making a sample, for example, in our own apparel language. Or many of us today in this panel or in this group who are participating are from fabric manufacturing, for example, digital printing, for example. sample making as garment manufacturers, as exporters, as people who are trying to do business of making fashion available. You have to look at the kind of changes that happen and how industry adapted that art. The cubism changed. It became a multi-dimensional cubism. Are we ready to also now reinvent ourselves and see that in our own real world today? And it's the same history which is repeating today. From the world of just having a picture or a photo or a actual sample, technology has given us access to now look at that three dimensionally, look at that virtually, look at that in a virtual reality lens, upside down, inside in, x-ray view, heat map view. These are new perspectives getting added at a very affordable price. And the price of technology, as with any gadgets in the world, is only reducing drastically. As an early adapter, what you can do is not become another Kodak because you can adapt early, right? So this is a time of our new world where we have to deep dive into this. And I was lucky, for 3 years in Sri Lanka, the experiences I got working and indulging with technology, I don't think so. My counterparts in India had that kind of an exposure. And I was very lucky to meet a person like Ram Shreen, who has been the, innovator, father of 3D in that world. And, he has challenged all the best players in the world of 2D and 3D when it comes to manufacturing fashion. And he has created new benchmarks for us. And I was lucky to work with him one on one for 3 years when I was in an organization which also believed very, very much in innovation and experimentation. And that time, this was never known that this is going to take such a big, important driver's seat today. It was always, one small new gadget that we have. Our guests come, our foreign buyers come to show them that we also do 3D. To that 3D became a very essence of us creating a new style every time. And click of a button, we would create a millions of them, which was impossible otherwise to do it in a sampling room. So we challenge every kind of a constraint and digitally prove ourselves that we can do it better, faster, and much, much in an innovative way. And why not? And that is available today to us. So I'm very delighted to share about those experiences of those 3 years and how we are applying them in India back here in this conversation with you. So this is how has been my journey so far, and it's really exciting.
So, Jagdish, one thing I know for a fact, and I know it, and some of the users who are joining us in the session, you come from a corporate background where you have worked with some very big organizations, not only in Sri Lanka, even in India, as a matter of fact, whether it's Flipkart, whether it's Reliance, technology adoption for such big companies is now never a challenge, and they're ready to take up this challenge because they have team, they have resources. Now, what you see is the mindset of these kind of people, because that, as you rightly said, they are the early adopters, and you have been part of that seed where you have adopted to this technology and you've seen it coming and you adopted to it. So, what kind of mindset you guys play with when you're doing at that level?
So actually, a big player like the Reliances of the world or those big guys in the industry in Sri Lanka who are exporting, millions of garments a month, for them, technology becomes a necessity because there is a scale. So the difference between doing that manually and doing that with your new toy that you have, it suddenly starts gaining momentum without having to have any other reason to believe. Today, compared to these big guys who are using technology day in and day out and they believe in it and it is affordable for them, it is not so in the mind of a small retailer or a small boutique fabric manufacturer or a factory who is making smaller runs. And the world is shifting towards that because small is becoming more and more beautiful. And as you know, Schumacher, the guy who wrote about this economics phenomena, small is beautiful. It is a new proven concept today. And we don't need to be big to use technology. And technology cost, as I said, is only going to be making it more affordable. There are various other ways that you can test out this even faster than the way big guys would do it in the normal stance. To me, actually, if you really look at it, there are certain small technology hacks that a small guy can today use much faster than a bigger organization can adapt and bring it into their system. It's going to take them a lot of time and effort to inculcate that change in the system which is going to process it, because they are large. But you are a small nimble guy, like a leopard, you can go faster using the technology. So in fact, it's an advantage for the small guys than as much as it is an effort for the big guys at the same time.
So there is very important thing that you just highlighted. We all know the transition of from a BlackBerry and Nokia times to smartphones when iPhone got introduced, and when there was a shift in the consumer behavior from a keyboard to a smart touch field system, and now what we see is like every person in the world is using smartphone. I wouldn't say everybody, but like every user of the phone today is a smartphone. So the idea is moving away from a traditional touch to it's a virtual touch we are coming in. But as you rightly said, that there is a shift, and the shift is in such a way that it is a benefit which is coming in for the smaller players. If you were to just identify those few benefits, you just nailed it out. So if you can just give me a quick set of benefits, what people in the room can understand, what kind of benefits they can see in an evolving world of 3D technologies, and how they can get benefited out of using such technologies.
See, the benefits are manifold. And if you fundamentally look at the way fashion sells, I have identified three laws which operate. And when you will look at these three laws that operate in the world of fashion, whether using technology or otherwise, you know, technology in its raw sense can be in the Stone Age, even an axe was a technology, right? From stone, when he moved into and made an arrow, it was a new technology. So today, if you look at technology, there are these three laws a fashion retailer, or a fashion brand, or a textile manufacturer should understand the fundamental laws of what makes your fashion actually work. And if you follow those fundamental laws, using anything to take yourself from 1x to 100x, using those laws will be a great avenue for you to experiment with, which as a small guy you can do it faster than a big guy can do. As simple as making your WhatsApp into a business WhatsApp and having a small bot to sell your same experience 100 times becomes a very inexpensive technology, for an example. But what are these three laws? The first law is how people buy fashion correlates to how others show up in their fashion tribes. So traditionally, a tribe was tribals who would, make their masks according to a particular color and a thing to cover their body, and also identify themselves as belonging to a clan of people in the Stone Age. Today we have tribes, which are our Facebook pages, which are our digital communities, which are our WhatsApp groups, which are our Instagram followings. These tribes are where the fashion shows up. And if you understand that law, it was there in the Stone Age, it is there today. It has got digitized, it has got multiplied, it has got further segmented, it has got further refined to a level that it has become a sophisticated tool for you to now use it. But how powerfully are you using that first fundamental law, which says how people buy correlates to how others show up in their fashion tribes? Have you exploited that fundamental law? Second law that follows this law is how you consume, how your consumers consume, show up in their tribes arises in a conversation first. How does it arise in your conversation first is, I have to first see that there is a new trend that is happening. And this trend is happening with a tribe which is one level above in terms of my aspiration. And there is a level below which I have already crossed and I have evolved myself here. So I am parallelly looking at a reference group which is my aspiration and a reference group which is little behind than me. So early adapters are the ones who are in the level 3 of their adaptation, but most of the consumers of our kind are in the tribe 1, tribe 0 and tribe 2 is the aspiration. So this tribe 1 customer, there is a conversation that is happening. Today that conversation has got split into two. It's a verbal conversation and there is a visual conversation. That's a fundamental law and it was there always, but now Pinterest has made it more sophisticated. There is a visual conversation of you talking to that Pinterest software on your smartphone by just selecting a particular style, and it brings you variations of that in multifold. It is a visual conversation you are having with the algorithm, and that dance is giving you more and more refined fashion that is coming in. That's the second law, as per what I have designed these three laws to understand how fashion following happens. It used to happen earlier, it is happening now. It's happening more visual now. The conversations are becoming more tech conversations in a smiley. Conversations are happening in some prefabricated answers the robot is suggesting you on the LinkedIn. Conversations are becoming more sophisticated, more targeted, more refined. Each word is becoming a key word for the algorithm in Google to know who you are. So that's the level of sophistication we have moved into. That's the second law. Are we exploiting that? Coming to the final law, the third law, the consumers generate content. The consumer generated content creates your brand following. So what is happening is, earlier we were a very small set of people in a tribe where 25 people will know each other by their name, by the name of their children, by the name of their grandmothers and grandfathers. Today in the digital world, this group, I don't know anybody, but I'm talking to this group as if I belong here, because I know that the character of this group is all of you are from the industry of fashion. Very easy for me to have a conversation like this, sitting in any part of the world. I can be even using my phone to have this conversation with this group of people. The conversation that happens is more consumer generated that actually works. And we had seen, 2 years back, 3 years back, when we would say that celebrity based marketing, we have to see the following of a particular person and then business will happen. Business never happened there because there is no real conversation happening. These are only followings which are not appropriate. So that is getting refined. There's more getting targeted. So consumer generated content creates brand following. Now, how do you generate this consumer generated content is your authentic communication. And digital technology at Sotex with Timex, with our Tuka Tech, is giving us that collaborative effort to build a product which is suitable to this clan, this tribe of customer, whether it comes to your color sensibility, whether it comes to your print sensibility, whether it comes to your fit, which is where my technology with Tuka works for this customer. Because a conversation is, "Arey, this is a brilliant movie, man, you should go and watch it." Comes from the heart of a person, right? That is consumer generated content. "Arey, this dress I bought from Avirate fits me so well. I look very, very nice and flattered wearing that dress." That is a consumer generated content. And that has to be captured. And digital technology helps you to multifold expand that conversation to your targeted audience, whether he is your exporter sitting in Europe or US, or he is your manufacturer who is going to make this in Bangladesh. It's all the same world. And this market segment is now available to us from any point, any strata point of view. In fact, the Lakme fashion show, one of the jewelry designers said that she sold 20 lakh worth of choker worn by one of the Bollywood actress by it was bought by a person sitting in Bangladesh online for 20 lakhs. So market is getting amazingly available to us thanks to this whole shift, the seismic shift that has happened due to whatever bad times we have had. But there is a silver lining on the cloud that we need to exploit and not just talk about it. And today we are ready for that. Sotex has made so much of effort of collaborating these people. It is a multi-sided platform for us to generate that, to bring that consumer to the table, to exploit that opportunity that we have for all the great work we have done so far. And this is the moment to be here.
So, Jagdish, just to summarize such a brilliant takeaway, three things I can, just give it to all the audience here. The content is becoming the king. The availability on the internet is becoming the need of the hour. And your positioning of your brand, how tech savvy and how availability you can create and how much visible you can make it. That's going to be the forum of how you can reach out. So with these three things that I can see, I want to ask you one more area, especially for the small business owners and because of the fabric and the trim manufacturers, because those are the people who actually end up creating a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff they create for as a part of the supply chain, and that actually comes and becomes as a part of the value where the designers come into this. So what kind of technological solutions they should adopt to the fact that the both sides can connect to each other faster?
See, the last 2 seasons have been so uncertain. Nobody has been able to forecast, and nobody has actually made an effort to actually create a new collection. And they have just been mismashing, reinventing, rehashing your old merchandise, whether in fabric form, convert into something which was not done before, and find those gaps and fix it. This is going to be the reality of our situation now. It's not going to change. We are going to become more and more complex in forecasting how the season in future is going to happen, because the behavior of the mutation of this virus, we don't know how it's going to turn out. We don't know what the third wave is, whether it is also. If it is not also, we are in trouble. If it is also, we are in trouble. If it's not, means we have lost the opportunity and we didn't take any action. So there is a reason to now for manufacturers, fabric manufacturers, trim manufacturers, garment manufacturers to come together and collaborate as a community. And that is where we have designed this whole communal micro factory, where you first get the demand in place and then you start to manufacture. And this is a whole shift. And last magic show, Sonal would actually explain to you what happened there. Tuka Tech and us, we had created a small communal factory inside the magic show. And we showed in 3 hours we can convert an idea from your mind into a dress this woman could wear and flaunt herself in front of the cameras live in 3 hours time. That's possible, and technology is ready for that.
So I see there is a lot of opportunities and a lot of things which have emerged in the last 18 months. While for, as you rightly said, if the third wave does not comes in, even if we as a manufacturer or a part of the community, the textile community, what are we doing to graduate ourselves for the next season, which is going to be, whether with the virus, whether without virus, how are we transiting to the next system?
So we are all preparing ourselves to be more generic, more inclusive in our collection. So it is only broadening our perspectives to create a collection which can be modified and addressed to that customer in a very short period of time. And that is where the presentation which was made before us, we had a beautiful presentation from Sotex, their Style Lab presentation, where we are creating everything ready. It's like a tapanyaki, and we are going to do it in front of the customer and share it there and there, and it's fresh and it's new and it's available, and it is smaller and it is in small quantity. So now it's not about volume, but it is about more localization, and it is more about recency than about frequency. That recency is going to matter a lot, because and there's going to be more personalization, more customization. That's going to be the future of fashion, because otherwise the fashion is available in plenty. How you're going to differentiate yourself is by bringing in those elements of demand manufacturing, having to predict your demand. Now you have to first get your orders. So we have a customer in the US who manufactures t-shirts. Every day he gets orders online for 500 pieces, and then they start manufacturing it. And they're all done on 3Ds. And every day there are 10, 20 new designs getting uploaded without even making a sample. So
So,
this is the way of life that is going to happen in future.
so one area which you rightly said, and the micro factory which was created in the Magic Show back in LA in the last event, it was an eye opener for most of the people across in the world, because how within a smaller setup, right from the fabric to the delivery could happen. Now, if you look at businesses in our community, in Southeast Asia, and since you've been part of this journey, what are the feasible changes that small companies can adopt, both on the fabrics and trim side as well as the small garment manufacturing side?
So we have to now outsource, and we have to depend on technology, like the way Sotex is the Uber of the fashion world, the Uber taxi. Sotex doesn't own a single factory or a fabric mill, but now he's consolidating everything so that the factories are benefiting from them, and so is the end consumer, or the customer who's serving the end consumer benefits from him at the same time. So we have to collaborate, we have to come together, we have to come into that subscription of creating our own community, and then we share our resources. If you have excess capacity, you add other person's add-on quantity with yours, because the fabric is the same, and both of us are serving the same end, the buyer there. So now the collaboration will happen, and we'll be forced to do that. Unless better you do it willingly than to be forced to do that, right? That's a choice you have.
So very well articulated on this fact that there is a need, and being an entrepreneur myself, I've gone through this journey in my days where I felt that on one side there was a business which was struggling to deliver on time, and then on the other side there's a business who does not have the orders and is just struggling to cut down on the prices on every single inquiries coming in. So it is, rather than making a collaboration, it was becoming a fierce competition, and ultimately both of them end up losing, because the person who gets the business is not able to deliver, it does not have a margin, and is able to lose because of the penalty that gets imposed from the overseas customers for not delivering on time. And on the other side, the other factory is idle. So yes, you rightly said, and that's the need of collaboration which we are looking out here. Jagdish, we know for a fact that there is so much that you in your current, in your current set of business model, you impart so much of education and so much of information about the fashion, the 3D, the technology, the pattern making. Would you like to share a snippet about few things that you do so that the people in the room can understand and can, get aware of what all things are happening in the world of fashion and designing?
Yeah, so fundamentally, having learned the way businesses have happened in other countries, and what I use the technology myself, the Tuka tech softwares and other things that I've been using myself. Last few months, we have been working on a new project where we thought that there is an upskill required for the traditional industry in India. Upskill required right from the time the first NIFT graduate walks out into the industry. That is the first need where we need a transformation, because he needs to be a change agent to the industry. Second is the middle level organized skills which are there in the industry, who need to be also recalibrating themselves to adopt this new technology, and the technology has to be available to them at a very affordable price, so that they can also experiment it while they can gradually transition into that. And there is the awareness in the senior management or the leadership or the startup or the business owners space, where they need to understand that how gradually you can now move out, because it's like the frog in the hot water. It is slowly dying and he doesn't know that he's dying. So we have created this program which we call the cocooning. It's a 12-week program where we bring in either a tribe of fashion entrepreneurs together, at least 5 of them, or from an organization, a buyer, a planner, a designer, and the merchant and the financial controller, all of them coming together for this program, so that they can all create a cohesive understanding and they can try it like a lab with zero cost involved, and see how the consumers are responding to their recipes which they are creating using 3D technology. So this cocooning program is a 12-week program we have designed either for a set of new startup entrepreneurs who want to come together, bunch together, 5 of them from different domains and work together, which we did the last time. Phenomenal. These young kids who are wanting to start business are so collaborative and broad-minded in their mind that they invited like their generic competitors to be their collaborators. So one girl is a ethnic designer and the other person is a western wear designer. They are both coming together and identifying an accessory designer, and they want to create a new collection which is going to be showcased digitally to the end consumer. These were the very innovative outcomes that came out of this program. There is another set of things we did with one organization where they wanted to just evaluate how 3D will work, how Tuka 3D will work versus the other competitions which are available in the market. So we brought them all together, 5 of them from the company, and they debated and dissected and did all kinds of things to really see how this will work at a very small price, where they don't have to really buy the software. They don't have to hire the staff who's understanding how to use the software, because that is a bigger challenge. We don't have that skill available. So at Tuka Center, we have this kind of an incubation which we call cocooning, where you get a very, very senior pattern maker who is digitally does patterns for ages, and he does all complicated styles to show you the strength of the software. And you don't have to buy the software. You for these 12 weeks, you are just experimenting with your own styles. You do the thing. We show you markers where we show you how the regular consumptions are and how your consumption improves, how the profitability of your whole collection improves by just using this algorithm-based marker without even investing in the software or in anything. So this kind of a lab is giving them a lot of confidence in 12 weeks to evolve at something which they can take back in their organization and now adapt it. So this is the kind of an initiative we are doing, and I'll be more than happy to share with all of you a small document on that. I can share you a link so you can go through that and see how you can benefit with Sotex and Tuka coming together, and with this program how you can now use their resources and make it a benefit for you without even investing that $499 which Sonal is giving you now. So even before you do that, we can actually give you to test the recipe for yourself, and it's in the eating that lies the taste of the pudding.
There is some remarkable information which is going out, and I'm sure with the people who are in the room, they should have been taking some notes about what has been shared by Jagdish. It's just an amazing set of developments which are happening around the world. These were the set of things, I happen to have a chance of learning some of these processes back in my current, in my assignment back in university in Sydney, and currently even at MIT, where they have this complete innovation labs where people come, they experiment, they see the creations, how they can see, and they go out and try it with the people. And imagine the same kind of phenomena happening in the fashion industry. This is the first time I'm hearing this. And hats off to
Yeah, so
Jagdish for
this
bringing
is
it.
a 12-week program where you can come to Bangalore for 3 days. It's a residential program. You can stay in our studio. Ram Charan has come there for the inauguration. He knows the facilities we have. It's a
Wow.
residential program. You can be in the same building for 3 days. Day and night, do your brainstorming sessions, work together, get the sample done, get the factory to show you the outcome, see the markers, drape it on the body form, and see how it looks. All of you are sitting together in a lab for 3 days, and 12 weeks is before and after of that. So total 12-week program with one session of a 3-day residential plan with paid off of your stay and your food and everything. So this is the kind of an environment we have created, which we call it cocooning, so that you can really fight it out and test it out and see it for yourself how it works.
And I'm sure this is available for both the fabric mills as well as the trims
The
manufacturers
print,
because,
yeah, the
yeah.
print guys, because that print itself, now you can be innovative enough to create your library of prints, and we can help you. In our Tuka software is integrated with Adobe. So we have experts who are print experts who can show you how that integration happens. It's very magical. And your designs can be as authentic as new, and you can outsource those through our experience, 20 years of experience of a print guy. This guy does magic on prints. The latest trends you will see him creating with such crispness and clarity, and with the digital technology how you can create smaller runs and show it visually to your buyers. It is an amazing experience.
I would really request Team Sotex, please share the link for expression of interest for anyone in the room who wants to, who is inclined to learning about or getting to know more about this sort of course and developments. We will share out more details to you post the session on the emails. It's just been such an amazing understanding of the entire journey, which is happening in the kind of shift what you see happening in the fashion and textile industry. And amazingly, as I said, the more we explore and more we go inside the deeper side of the world of fashion and the kind of things which are happening within India and across in the Asia, this is just an awesome area to come and learn about it. Gagan, I would like you to now open up this particular conversation to everyone in the room. Any kind of questions that you have for the people who are there in the room, if they have questions, let's have Jagdish attend a couple of the questions directly from the people in the room.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Before I actually take up the questions, first of all, let me thank you both, Jagdish, your comments, your discussion points, your experience was clearly visible, and your passion for bringing something unique, letting them learn the technology and adopt it is just amazing. Thank you so much for sharing these nuggets. They will definitely go a long way in all the people's minds who are listening to it. Thank you so much.
Welcome, sir.
Great. Now I would like to take up a couple of questions. The first one is from Satyendra Mishra. And at this point, before I take Satyendra's question, I would request you, there are still a lot of people in the room. May I request you to please post the question in the Q&A section, which is at the bottom of your screen, or now that the chat is not that busy, in case you are feeling a challenge with the Q&A section, just post it in the chat box as well. We'll be happy to take up the question. So Satyendra says, we have the work of computerized embroidery in Raipur, Chhattisgarh. We make the designs in embroidery mode. How we can take benefit in Sotex through our this mode? Sonil, this question comes to you. Yeah.
Satyendra, I know for a matter of fact that as an embroidery manufacturer, you would have a constant challenge of two sides. One is how do you take up your design and showcase it to the world? And the second challenges would be that how do you go out and find the right eyeballs for your designs or for the work that you're going to do. In both the cases, please connect to us. Share your designs with us, and once you have the design display coming in, what you saw earlier through Shreya, we share this design, we create the designs into a model artwork. The garmenting side can be done, the 3D side can be done. You can see how the ideation of your design can come into the garment side. And that actually gives the life to a garment, to a fabric or to a design. Uh, as Jagdish also mentioned out, you want to learn about how to take up your skills or how to take up your presentations to the outside world. These are some of the technologies which are coming in. And as he rightly said earlier, with the bigger companies, the challenge is how to adopt these challenges. And some of the times that adoption of these small technologies take a lot of time for the bigger companies. For a smaller companies, the decision making becomes more faster, because even if you have a website or you don't have a website, you just come onto the Sodex application and within few minutes, you can have your designs live and people from across the world can come and see your designs. You want to go further down, you want to create life with your fabrics or your embroidery designs that can actually further be converted into a garment and presented to your customers. And that's how they can imagine what kind of creativity comes in. You want to change colors, you want to change prints, you want to change the motif or an embroidery, or you want to make it small, large, with the different colors. Everything can be done without even making a physical sample or without punching the physical embroidery also on the fabric. Change the fabrics, change the embroideries, change the styling, change the colors, make it smaller, bigger. Everything is possible in today's world. And that's the exactly kind of an interface which Mr. Jagdish Chawla has just shared. What kind of things are possible in the design lab? I'm at Sotex. We're here to help you out and take out your and take your creativity to the buyers. Get in touch with this team Sotex, and I'm definitely sure that there can be a lot of solutions that you would be looking out. And it's a very small small iterations in your business or in the technology, which you can adopt to it and you can transit faster also, which can make things much more easier for you. I hope this answer helps you in making your decision faster. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Sonal, for the share. I would like to take up the next question. This is from Roma Malla Tikku. Roma says, small factories are struggling for work. They don't have enough work. In this situation, what do you suggest? How to look for customers? Is there any platform where they can connect factories to consumer? Sonal, what do you have to say about this?
Roma, if you have not been on Sodex platform, please join in. We are one of the fastest and fastest lead generating platform in the industry. Even for the smaller businesses who feel challenged in the current times of finding the work, we get the work to you in your office. This is just by logging into a Sodex app or the Sodex application, you can see what kind of opportunities have which comes in on a daily basis. There's a lot of opportunities which come for garment manufacturers, especially for men, women, kids, for fabric suppliers, for trim suppliers. So a lot of these active categories, there are the garmenting is one of the most active categories we have, and we have people who are asking for buyers and manufacturers in their particular vicinities, in their particular regions and geographies. So we can connect you to this community, and that is exactly what the vision of Sotex is. We want to connect the community faster so that you can identify what are the opportunities available, and at the same time, the buyers are able to identify which manufacturers can deliver those opportunities faster. So please, I would request you to connect to Sodex team once again, and there will be a lot of solutions that can be given out for your set of business model.
Great. Thank you, Sonal. I saw on the chat just now, she joined in a bit late, and that's how probably she could not really get to know about Sotex first. And she's into kids wear and metalworks also. Okay, great. Thank you, Roma, for the share. The question is from Mohit Hora. Hi, Jagdishji and Sonalji. We are a manufacturer of polyester buttons. How can this technology help us? Or is it okay to just scan and show them? Mohit from Gold Star Buttons. Go ahead, Jagdish. Would you like to answer, Sonal?
Yeah, see, whether it is a trim or a button or a piece of embroidery, yeah, we are as a fashion company in the business of telling our story. Now, how you tell your story? There are a million ways you can do it. You can be just selling a button, but your story of that button can be so powerful that people who have never thought of adding a button will end up having more buttons on their garment than ever, because the way you tell your story. And basically, what we are doing here with technology is we are telling a story to your end customer. So, as I said, you have to collaborate. You have to collaborate with other uh, people who are garment manufacturers and make a presentation using their new range collection that is happening, but see it from an eye of a button designer and create your version of it and tell him to collaborate with you, and both of you make a presentation. Your presentation will go 10 times higher, because button by itself is the last option that anybody would do when it is a utility item. But what if you are presenting it as a most fashionable item of the garment? The presentation will
Yeah.
be from you, not from the garment manufacturer.
Wow.
It shifts the whole perspective. And how you tell your story, you can come to us and we can do the whole button story for you.
Super. Wonderful. Sonal, any comments?
I was just talking to somebody in the morning in my team, and I was just telling them, imagine there is a shirt which we are wearing, and you just change the color of the button on that shirt. Now imagine if there is a change of color in the button of the shirt, the complete attention of that shirt goes on the button. So as Mr. Jagdish rightly said, the way you tell your story is how you get the attention of your customer. And this is exactly what happens. Simply, if you present your button in a way that is fitting to a story, which is catching up the eyeballs, you have the right story to share. And as you said, you can collaborate with the fabric guys, with the manufacturers, with the garment manufacturers, or with anyone. Just bring out your story, reach out to the world, use the technology, and reach out to the platform. Mr. Mohit has been recently added as a member of our community also. And the moment we have new design collections coming in, reach out to design labs at Sotex and let them create small mini story for you. The way we have created for some of the fabric manufacturers, will create small video stories for you, and then you show those stories to your customers and see the reaction, how they feel. And I'm sure with a good story, there will be an eyeballs which are coming in, and people will definitely would like to understand your product line in a much better way. That's how we go out and build up a new model. That's what technology can do for you. Nothing investment, no, nothing going on, or a very very few set of time which goes out in building up that story, and that's how you take your message to the world. So I hope that solution or some of the ideas from Mr. Jagdish will take into consideration for some of you here, whether it is fabric trims. It's just how you put up your story, and that's where you get the attention.
Great. Thank you so much, both of you, for your comments and valuable inputs. We are now still open for some more time to look at some more questions which may come across. We've answered few of these questions. In case you have any more questions, feel free to answer now. And I can wait for a couple of more seconds for the questions. All right.
So,
in the meanwhile, yes, go ahead, Sonal. Yes.
I just wanted to share a quick information about the next week session also. While Gagan has briefly mentioned about a fireside chat, next week we are bringing out one of a very important senior business leader in the industry. And the way he has mentored a brand based out in Gujarat, and the way they have transited into the complete supply chain, and how they created a world-class factory out of it. Guys, I invite all of you who are still in the room, please come and attend to that session. How this manufacturer back in Gujarat has created world first, the highest number of units per machines. So they are a denim-based factory. They are creating the highest number of per person output in terms of the tailoring. They have created the highest number of tailoring per tailor, and they are one of the lowest cost manufacturing vertical in the world. Believe me, it has been the lowest cost manufacturing vertical in the world in the denim film. And we want to understand this story, how this company did it, how it was engineered, how the innovation was set up in this particular factory. It's a huge, massive factory. And let's directly hear it from the horse's mouth. We are inviting both the owner of that factory as well as the mentor to that factory, how they have built it up this together, and they have come out with a remarkable shift. So stay in tune with us for the next week, and we want to bring out this story to you.
So Sonal, do you want to break the suspense on who this team is going to be, who will be presenting this?
We'll break out the suspense by tomorrow. Let us build it with the right set of information out, and we will declare it by tomorrow. To all the people, we'll reach out to you on a WhatsApp or an email. But you should listen to how these companies have been doing it. So there is a remarkable set of innovations which are happening across the world. And not only in the world, in India itself, we have a lot of innovations coming in. South Asia, Southeast Asia, we have a lot of innovations coming in. So why just look it for the West? Mr. Jagdish just talked about the micro factory, which was placed by Tukatech in Magic Show. And this was, it got the eyeballs for everyone across in the world. It was covered with every single media in the world. And that's something which we should be proud of. That is the kind of world we're shifting out to. And I'm very happy to know the kind of innovation center with Mr. Jagdish Chawla himself has created back in Bangalore. And given a time, I would definitely like to go and stay there for 3 days myself to see how this thing is happening in the fashion world. I'll be glad to learn these skills myself.
Super. Thank you so much. So innovations in global manufacturing. That's what we are going to be talking about. A brand which has set the benchmarks for the one of the world's best and the most lowest cost manufacturing of denims. And on the other hand, a consultant who has been so innovative in bringing these technologies to the manufacturer. We're going to be talking about both the names tomorrow when we talk about both our very well and renowned names in the industry. So yes, keep that suspense just for a while. And yes, with this, we are at 6:20. And before I haven't really got any more questions as of now. I would now like to request both of you to please do put or give your closing comments about the session today. And I would like to first go over to Jagdish. Jagdish, how was the session for you? And we would like to hear from you about that. Please go ahead. Unmute yourself, please, Jagdish.
So, thank you very much, Mr. Kapoor, for creating this space. This space of having, even if it's just 24 of us thinking together, and taking our thoughts to a different level, we can open up a huge windows of possibilities with the technology that we are sitting today on. And I'm very glad to have these kinds of conversations, because we don't know which conversation, which word, which idea sparks into what kind of an outcome. We have to be in that wonderment all the time and participate in these kinds of events. And it's very, very, heartening to have this kind of a conversation. And I just love doing that, because my whole 12-week program, which I have started, I spend every Friday almost the same time from 5 to 7. And I see people responding to it in a way that they would have never seen that life happening, because otherwise we would have never met. I had people from Kukatpalli in Hyderabad to Calcutta, Bada Bazaar to Bangalore itself, to Delhi, to Orissa, participating in an event where they are all collaborating with their ideas to create a trunk show. Young designers. These are awesome possibilities happening in these conversations, and we don't know. There was a girl from Colombo who is now going to do a huge event with her fit women's wear jacket fit as an event. how
Wow.
to make a good fitting jacket for the woman. And she was just participating as a kid, and she's still studying, and she wants to become an entrepreneur. So, anything can open up in these conversations. And I'm really glad, Sonal, for, spearheading this and spending your time and energy to put this thing together. It is a huge task to, organize these kinds of events. And I'm really, 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 really happy to have these kinds of sessions and see that kind of initiative coming from you. Thank you so much for that.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, Jagdish, for the share.
Yeah.
And Sonal, over to you.
So thank you once again to Mr. Jagdish for coming and being in the show with us and sharing your sort of wealth of experience which you have from over the years, and with being at the corporate ladder, being at such a senior positions in such a big companies, and now working with small businesses and empowering them with such thought process and innovations, which was not possible, I would say, back then. And if I knew something like this was happening in my early days, I would have jumped into the opportunity of coming and learning this before getting into the business side of the vertical, because that's the kind of that's the kind of more confidence that you carry when you know things. You are in the innovation side. It's an amazing to know, and you can deliver much faster, and your mark, your mindset, your thought process are just going in a different direction. So it was very, very informative for me to have a conversation with you right on Sotex Connect. And for all the members who are still there in the room, Sotex is still thriving to become an important platform for every one of you, because the journey of an entrepreneur in the textile is not easy, because you're working with so many uncertainties which are there as part of the ecosystem. And the idea is to make this uncertainties more shorter as we transit into newer world, adopt to the technologies and use the technologies which are much more cheaper and faster to adopt in today's world. And bring out this through these kind of sessions where people have seen fundamental shift in the business models, how the technologies can change and break their businesses. Breaking is not the time is to collaborate. Just forget about the competition. Just embrace yourself by adopting the technologies and collaborate with as many people as you can. And more collaborations you do, the more support center you are getting in. And that's what the ecosystem we should be able to develop. And that's how we want to evolve in the near future. With this, I think we have an awesome conversation here today. Gagan, I would just request you to share an important factor about the buyer-seller meet, the global buyer-seller meet that we are doing it the 10 times, because that's another important shift that we are developing it for the ecosystem. This is some of these sessions have never come into India. They were happening globally in the last 18 months. And this is the first time we are getting something like this for the textile ecosystem.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is what Sonal was talking about. This is the event. This is the Global Buyer Seller Meet, which Sotex is doing in collaboration with 10 times. And yes, we are going to bring the world to India. Specifically, this particular Global Buyer Seller Meet is specifically for the women's wear segment. And we already have some amazing companies from India who are going to be presenting themselves in front of the buyers, and they will be having these interactions on September the 13th for 5 hours from Middle East and September the 14th from Europe. So looking forward, and in case, yes, if you are interested, we are looking forward. Give us an expression of interest and we will first evaluate and then take you on board for this particular session. And before I actually close, I would now like to definitely brief you. I changed it. The 9th of September now happens to be planning manufacturing excellence and build efficient factories. And yes, this is what we're going to be doing the next week with, of course, 13th Global Buyer Seller Meet, 16th September. After 2 weeks of planning and talking about the industry, we look at the business side of the industry, and we look at the HR processes and creating HR processes. We have a renowned HR consultant who's coming on board and talking about HR processes within your factories, within your companies. And then how do you bring automation, again, a business process side of it. We will be talking about it on 29th September, building growth session, business growth session on automation. With this, I would like to again thank you, both of you, Jagdish and Sonal, for this wonderful, wonderful discussion. And I certainly enjoyed it. Even not being from the industry, I certainly could learn a lot with how little small things, little baby steps can really make a difference in going a long way to build that kind of an infrastructure, which really can do wonders for you in the long run. So thank you so much, both of you. And looking forward. Yes, Jagdish, go
Yeah,
ahead,
yeah.
please.
I would just as a gesture share with you all a ebook which
Oh,
will give
yes,
you some
absolutely.
perspective about the three laws which I discussed about. So it will be a good takeaway for you guys. And also, I have created three versions of the future competencies, like a digital artist. Who's a digital artist? From a designer, he moves into a digital artist. A fashionomist, a person who is into understanding the business of fashion. We have created a new role, a competency called a fashionomist, and a small write up on that. And also a curator, a style curator who is a buyer today. In future, the buying will go out of fashion and you will be a style curator. So just enjoy reading this book. I'm just posting it with your
Yes,
permission,
please.
Mr. Kapoor.
Absolutely. Go ahead, please,
It's
Jagdish.
available
Uh,
for you all to download and read and cherish about the three laws of what makes your fashion go forward.
And Jagdish, while thank you so much, first of all, for sharing this book, and not only for the people who are in the room right now, there were a lot of them who were there who have left because maybe of the paucity of the time. We will be sharing this ebook with each one of them on the Personal Connect, on their WhatsApps as well as their emails, so that they can also get to know a bit more about that. Mansoor Lari, you just Jagdish has just now posted the link. You can click the link and you will be able to download the PDF straight away. In case
It's
you are
all about
logging in,
cocooning. Yeah,
okay.
that's the
So
title. Yeah.
in case you are logging in from a phone, there may be a chance that you're not able to download it. We will still definitely be
No, you will
sharing
be
this.
able to.
Yes.
It'll be taking you to an email link. From there, you will be able to download
Oh,
it.
wonderful. Great, great. Then you can then do that.
Yeah.
Awesome. With this, I would, okay, you don't see the link. Okay, because Jagdish has incidentally posted it to host and panelists. I'm going to post it to everyone. Now you see it. I have posted it for everyone. There you go, the link. Okay, Mansoor sees it now.
Thank you, Mansoor. Yeah.
Yes, go ahead. I'm going to give you a couple of more seconds to click the link, and then you will automatically, of course, get directed to the page. All right. Yes, Sonal.
And just for everyone who has been still in the session, thank you so much for giving your valuable time and your patience to listening this conversation. If you think this session has added value to you, please, we would like to hear your feedbacks, your comments. Team Sotex, please share a link for people to put their reviews. We would love to hear your reviews. Even if you don't like it, anything that you want us to improvise upon, we would definitely like to do that. These conversations are all being designed along for the people, for everyone, as a benefit of the community as a whole. If we come together, we learn together, that's will be excel together. We know that the future is uncertain for most of us in the businesses, but when you come together and you have this empowering on conversations, whether it is on the technology, whether on the business side or in the growth side, you always tend to get something better out of it. And that's what the idea of is, from where we as a part of the community are taking the strive of running these sessions, and we will continue to bring these sessions for the benefit of users at large, so that the community at larger level can get benefited. And people like Jagdish, they themselves have been part of the corporate world for a long time. And as he rightly said, now the shift is happening from the big manufacturers to the smaller manufacturer, and that is where the idea is. Even in our country, I would say 40% of the GDP is been contributed by these small businesses. And if these small businesses get empowered with the technology and with the learnings, and we can all see the kind of shift we can do, and the incentives will keep on getting more lower and lower. It will start easing out on your business. And give us some feedbacks, give us your reviews, let us know what kind of sessions you want us to bring it to you for your business. What is important to you as a business entrepreneur? Wherever we can add value, we will definitely look out for such sessions, and we will go out and get the right set of panelists and experts to come and share their knowledge on Sotex Connect. With this, I would like to close the session today. Thank you everyone for being with us on the Sotex Connect once again. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Jagdish,
everyone.
for being here. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.